Today we will solve quadratic equations with the quadratic formula, finding both real and complex solutions. So here's that quadratic formula. So if ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0, then x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So let's look at some examples. The first one here is 3x squared minus 8x plus 12 equals 0. So here's the quadratic formula. X equals negative b plus or minus the square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. First, we need to figure out what's our a, b, and c before we can plug things in. So the a is whatever's in front of x squared, so that's 3. Our b is whatever's in front of x, so that's negative 8. And our c is the constant, 12. So let's plug in our numbers here. X equals negative b, so negative 8 plus or minus the square root of negative 8 squared minus 4 times a times c all over 2a. So let's see what that looks like. We have 8 plus or minus the square root of 64 minus 4 times 3 is 12 times 12 is 144. All over 2 times 3, which is 6. All right. So it's 8 plus or minus the square root of negative 80 over 6. So remember that square root of negative 80 is the same as the square root of negative 1 times the square root of 80. Let's see if we can break the square root of 80 down. 8 times 10, whoops, 2 times 5, 4 times 2, 2 times 2. So we have a pair of 2's here and a pair of 2's here that we can pull out of the square root. We have an I that we can pull out, and then the square root of what's left over, which is just 5. All over 6. That can be simplified more because that, and that are all divisible by 2. So we have 4 plus or minus 2i square root 5 over 3. And that is our answer for 3x squared minus 8x plus 12. Okay, our second example here, x squared plus 4x minus 6. So again, we need to figure out what our a, b, and c are before we can plug it into our quadratic formula. So our a is 1, because if there's no coefficient, we know it's 1. B is 4, and c is negative 6. So let's plug that all in here. So negative b, which is 4, plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4. A is 1, c is negative 6, all over 2 times a is 1. Now we need to simplify. 4 squared is 16. Negative 4 times negative 6 is a positive 24 over 2. So that gives us negative 4 plus or minus 16 plus 24 is square root of 40 over 2. Let's see what we can do with 40 here. That's 4 times 10, 2 times 2, 2 times 5. We have a pair of 2's we can take out. Negative 4 plus or minus 2 square root 10 over 2. Since everything is divisible by 2, we get negative 2 plus or minus the square root of 10. This is our answer for x squared plus 4x minus 6 equals 0. All right, let's look at our last example here. We have 5x squared plus 2x plus 3 equals 0. Our first thing to do is figure out our a, b, and c. Our a is 5, our b is 2, and our c is 3. So let's plug everything in here. X equals negative b plus or minus the square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So it's negative 2 plus or minus the square root of 4 minus 4 times 5 is 20. 20 times 3 is 60 over 2 times 5, which is 10. So clean that up a little bit. Negative 56 over 10. So the square root of negative 56 can be broken down, into the square root of negative 1 times the square root of 56. So that's I. And 56 can be broken down into 2, 28, 2, 14, 2, 7. I got a pair of 2's. That's all I got. So that is going to be negative 2 plus or minus 2 square root 14 over 10. These are all divisible by 2, so I have negative 1 plus or minus, we forgot our I here. I square root 14 over 5. So this is our answer for this one. If you would like more practice on solving with the quadratic equation, you can go to IXL, Algebra 2, Section K, number 11. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in Zoom.